Let's see. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Greenhouse Lounge, Tiny Home Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? Let me try to get this volume up. I guess I don't need to hear my own volume. What do I need the volume for? Try to get this volume up. Okay. I guess I don't need. We need that volume down. What's going on? Everybody's good to see you. Let me see who's in the house tonight. Family Man, what's going on? Chime Moss, Vicky Owens, Growing What I Eat. What's going on, brother? Missy Hawk 22. Who else we got? Unbiased LLC in the house. Nancy P. Thank you for that. Growing What I Eat. Show appreciate it. Matter of fact, let me kick this little banner up here. When I find it somewhere. It's in here somewhere. There we go. There we go. Let's get back to here. Okay. Yah's work, Paulette Rivera, Rest Heaven Ranch, Belinda, Golden Transitions, Talisha Akers, Broke Farmer in the house. What's going on? Imperfect, Linda Moses, Growing What I Eat, I show appreciate you, brother. Dave Busby, what's going on? Veronica Westbrook, 85 Imports. Who is that? Let me throw my own. Okay. There we go. I got us now. We good now. All right. Everybody in the house. Cheryl Faulkner, how you doing? Halima, I cannot find my glasses. Hey boy. Hey. I don't know where my glasses at. So I'm left stranded. So it's good to see everybody in the house. Monica Harris, Robert Audrey, Samantha Banks. Look, hey, thank you. Welcome to the Greenhouse Lounge, Tiny House Tuesday. We're going to do this every Tuesday, 4:30 p.m., and we're going to talk about all of the stuff that we really, truly want to talk about. This is a chance for people to come up and give their testimonies and give their side, because half the time I'm always running my mouth, and I would love to hear your side of this situation. So right now, I do want to talk about a few things that was asked of me from last week, and I'm going to get right into that so we don't have to be beating around the bush. And after we do that, if you want to see the us build another style shed, barn, what do we call them? I can't keep saying that. Cabin, then we can go to that and do that again. But for the most part, let's get this out of the way. Hey, Debbie Thomas. Say it's been, let me see. Say it's been more than a hot minute since I last caught you. Always look forward to. Thank you for that, Debbie Thomas. Thank you. I'm gonna try not to do so much sniffling and snotting around. Okay. And for everybody wondering about my injury, I'm gonna talk about that on a separate video, because I don't want to mix, you know what I'm saying? Mix that with something completely different, because it's important. That's why I want to do it. So excuse me 1 second. It's something completely different that has nothing to do with nothing we're doing. Well, somewhat it does, but that's a video I want to touch on. But for now, we're here about these tiny homes. And let me see. How you doing, Change, as always? Say mad respect. Thank you so much. We're going to get right into it. We only been in here 4 minutes. That's enough for the hottie do. Okay. So with that, somebody asked me last week about your tiny home. They say, Led, what about your plumbing? Anybody got any questions about the plumbing? If you were to purchase, thank you, Yah's work. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you, Patient Saint. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for that. I don't know how I missed it. And thank you for that, Yah's work. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Mad respect to all of y'all for that. And everybody, again, welcome to the Greenhouse Lounge, Tiny Home Tuesdays. Somebody asked me what it is going to get a little deep. So hang on tight, okay? What do you do about your plumbing in your tiny home? Everybody was worrying about the plumbing because I'm sure you guys been watching a lot of different channels and you seeing everybody doing their own form of plumbing or lack thereof. I want to ask you guys before we get into that, okay, before I start telling you what our intentions are. Let me stop talking. I can't keep talking loud. So can y'all hear me okay if I talk like this? Preferably for me to talk like this. Can y'all hear me okay? I yell a lot. Can't you tell? If everybody can hear me, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. At this level right here, can you hear me? Because I'm going to try not to do a whole bunch of screaming. I'm actually in my office right now. I couldn't. Hey, who's that? So sweet, Deborah Allen. How you doing? Good to see you. Good. Thank you, everybody. Because I can't do no yelling right now. So I normally would be in my kitchen right now, but she won't let me sit in them chairs, and she all babying me. And so I'm kind of like on punishment. So I got to sit in my comfortable office chair if I'm going to be sitting around either this, the bed, or I'm just doing too much. So thank you for that, everybody. Okay. How many people have questions about the plumbing and what you plan on doing with your plumbing? Because I'm going to tell you what our intentions are, what our intentions have been for the last 30 years. And I could show you better than I could tell you, but I can't get up. Y'all ever hear that game called Mr. Bucket? Okay. These buckets are fun. You could do that, Gail Jones. Gail Jones, that's a great idea. By digging yourself a mud bucket, if you will, digging yourself an outhouse. You could go dig yourself an outhouse, but there's something else you got to think about too. If you plan on digging yourself an outhouse, you really need to be thinking about, are you near any water? You know, do you have water on your, hey, Lisa Ellicott, how you doing? Do you have water on your property where this outhouse is supposed to be? Because remember, all of this stuff leaches off into or around your water. That's why if you have a septic system, they will not, hey, Toya's Pantry, how you doing? They will not put a septic system near your water. I mean, legally, because that's the water you're going to be pretty much drinking on. Okay. Hey, Miss TT. Somebody just said it. Let me see. Sharon Walker says a bucket and use those grocery bags and kitty litter all day. That's what Princess Lead is out there doing right now. She getting real familiar. I even gave her 2 different buckets. One is for P, one is for number 2, one is for number 1. Don't listen. If you want your stuff to last and you want to keep the smell down, don't do both. Don't do a 12. Okay? Don't do a 12. Do a 1 in one bucket and a 2 in another bucket. If you start doing 12s, I tell you what, you got about 3 good rounds of using the bathroom before you have to cart that thing out. The goal is to kind of collect this. I know this sounds gross, but I'm just keeping it real with you, okay? Remember, we're in a tiny home. The goal is to try to conserve, not use as many. Hey, learning to grow my own. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. not having to do so much work trying to get rid of your own waste. So if you can hold down the smell and hold down other stuff, you want to do that for as long as possible. So the best thing to do is separate the two. You do a number one in one bucket and number two in another bucket. Remember, 1 and a 2, not a 12. Keep them separate. All right. Let me see what we got. Lisa, do me a favor, Lisa. I'm gonna take that down, okay? Lisa, can you remove that for me, please? I don't want to. They only giving me the choice to time you out. I don't want to do that. Can you please remove that channel for me, please? Lisa, if you could, pretty please. Thank you. It's still showing, so I'm looking to see. It's still up there. I'm gonna have to remove it, okay? So I don't know how to do timeout. So I don't know how this works. But this is nothing personal against you whatsoever, okay? I just can't have them on my channel. I'm sorry, my sister, okay? I'll bring you back in as soon as this machine let me, but I can't have that comment. Them people. Mm-mm. And it's no beef with me and them. Just they live a whole nother lifestyle, and I don't condone it, and they don't condone mine. Okay. So Lisa, no, again, if you're watching still, no offense to you. I could not, it just didn't go away. Now, can lime help break things down and decrease odor? Would you part of the mob or something? I don't know. I don't use lime. I don't use it just because it's the price for lime versus all the other things that you could possibly be using. Let me see. I'm scrolling down because that kind of threw me off a little bit. Yeah, you got to put a plastic bag in the bucket. I mean, if you're not going to be putting a plastic bag in a bucket, you're going to have a whole mess that you got to waste water to clean out each and every single time. Just make sure your bags are biodegradable. Okay, this is a good question. So composting toilets are totally out then. That's an excellent question. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't like composting toilets. I don't like them. I had one. I didn't like it. And it wasn't that I just went cheap on it. It's the concept. How many people remember me purchasing the porta potty with the sink? How many people remember me purchasing that setup? How you doing, Patrice? Good to see you. Hey, Marilyn, I'm sorry. If you saw me purchase the porta potty with the sink, you never see that porta potty. You will see that sink, but you don't see that porta potty very much. And it's a reason for that. It's because, it's only a handful of booms you can do in there. You got to mix 1 with 2 in it. So it will go to smelling real bad real quick if you don't use chemicals. So that thing you need to put chemicals in, which I don't want to use, right? Then it fills up. And then you got to go take this liquid somewhere. It's a whole different ball game putting a solid somewhere. But when you got to think about this, with one of those porta potties, as much as I like them, that if you're going on a trip, that's a whole nother ball game. If you at a campsite, that's a whole nother ball game because you have somewhere to put that stuff. But if you're like kind of living off grid or living on your land, a porta potty like that is not a. Oh, I gotta stop yelling. A porta potty like that is not a good idea. The reason why a porta potty ain't a good idea is because you got to constantly dump it. Then you got to wonder where you gonna dump it. If you're gonna dump it right out there in the yard somewhere, out in the woods somewhere, you could have just went out there and did your business. Because the problem with that, it got chemicals, it's liquidy. Then you got to waste water to turn around to clean it out. What's going on, Sweet Thumb? So, and composting toilets is pretty much the same thing. I mean, composting toilets are so expensive. Let's get right into that. The composting toilets are so expensive. After you spend your $500 to $1,000 and up on a composting toilet, you could have went and got a $2.50 bucket from Wally World and got you some $100 bags, garbage bags from Dollar General, and been done with it. It's just doo-doo. We overdoing, we overkilling, and that's going to be another one of our subjects here. Overkill. It's doo-doo. And here's the other thing about that is when you live, I'm gonna be honest with you. And anybody can interject if you want to. When you kind of live away from the city, it ain't gotta be off grid, because everybody getting caught up on that word and getting all butthurt about it. Once you living off on your land somewhere, if you're a person that likes a lot of visitors, you may want to rethink moving off grid. You ain't gonna get a whole bunch of visitors coming out there to see you, unless your family and friends are like-minded like you, and they love that lifestyle, living in the woods, bugs, creatures, predators, doo-dooing outdoors. If they enter that, you gonna have visitors. And if you have visitors just like-minded like you, they ain't gonna mind sitting off on a log somewhere and pinching off one. But for the most part, this is about you. So how things look, leave that mentality in the city. Leave that mentality of trying to fool people into thinking, number one, you rich, and making people think that you got right good sense in the first place. Leave that in the city. When you move out here in the woods, you don't care. You really just stop caring. You'll have a hole in your shirt, hole in your drawers, and a hole in your sock. You'll call that a matching outfit. Ooh. Oh, okay. You would call that a matching outfit. You got a holy shirt, some holy pants, holy drawers, and a holy sock. You got a whole, what we used to call a outfit, a fresh fit. You just kind of stop trying to impress people when you out there, because you're going to get dirty every single day. You're going to be walking down through your woods, and a branch going to just pick this piece of the shirt and just rip it off your whole body, give you a Rambo vest, So as far as the composted toilet, just say uck it and just grab a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Just say F it and grab a bucket. You put that together yourself. All right? Trust me. Without plumbing, it is so much easier. And look, get this. When you got that bucket, you can pick it up and take it anywhere you want to go. Like, you know what? You can start having adventures. I think I'm going to poop in the living room today. I'm going to do it. That whole thought you had in your mind when you said, when I grow up and I have my own house, I'm going to do what I want in my own house, wherever I want to do it at. If I want to poop in the living room, I'm going to poop in the living room because it's going to be my house. Every kid say stuff like that. Whoa. You know, trust me, it's a little weird when you taking a deuce, dropping a dooley in front of the stove and the couch and the TV. It's just a little strange, but you kind of like, I could scratch that off my bucket list. Pooped in the living room. Scratch that off your bucket list. Your bucket list. No pun intended. But it's the truth. You can look, sometimes I kid you not, Lord is my witness, I will take the bucket outdoors because I just want that breeze. And I just don't want to fumigate the inside of the RV. I take the bucket out there. Ain't nobody around. Now I might give the birds and the squirrels a scare, but for the most part, you know, man, nice breeze. The smell, you don't smell nothing because it's off in nature. You know. So let me see. Pool noodles on the sides of a bucket, good idea. If that's what you want to do. I just grab me one of them lids. You could do what you want. You could take the lid and just cut a little hole in the middle. You could do whatever you want. That's the sweet part. Have used a flushing toilet in deep countryside, flushed by rainwater. Waste is pumped away into one of those bits or bins. You probably think, I don't know. I've never heard anything like that before, but that sounds very intricate. I'm talking about the most minimal situations that we're doing right now is just say F it and grab a bucket. Okay. Let me see. Say I throw in the trash right next to the neighbor's 100 pounds of dog poop bag. Hey, look, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. Right. Queen Conscious. Sometimes we spend too much time and too much money trying to show off and prove something. We're always trying. I'm gonna tell you why we caught in this lifestyle before I go on to the next. That's right. Golden transition. We could be using it as fertilizer too. I'm gonna say this. Part of the programming that we have in our heads is because we're programmed to try to make other people think that we're okay. And that's the mindset that we're trying to break. This just ain't about tiny home living. This just ain't about off-grid living. This is about breaking that system. It's about breaking that control, that mindset that we have over ourselves, right? That's my purpose anyway. And with that, look how many of us walking around, and you know for yourself, just like I know for myself, how many people are walking around with you ain't got two nickels to rub together, but you just put on a pair of $100 shoes. You ain't got two nickels to rub together, but you about to get in this Lexus or your Mercedes. You ain't got two nickels to rub together. But before you go to Walmart, you'll jump in that Mercedes, put on those expensive tennis shoes, put on that expensive shirt and pants, go to Walmart and start complaining about the prices. Only people complain about prices in places like that. You ain't got two nickels to rub together. Because our brains, let's be honest and let's be realistic. If our brains wasn't so screwed up like that, we really wouldn't own a Mercedes. We really wouldn't. We really wouldn't own a Lexus. Let's be realistic. What do you purchase Air Jordans for? What do you purchase a Mercedes for? A BMW? Why truly do we crave these things? Why do you want the big giant house, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom on the lake? Why? It's not out of necessity at all. It's not even out of want. It is true. Why do you women? Why you want your man to look so good? Why you want him all cut up and buffed up and polished up? Men, why you want that trophy wife with the big bumpers front and back? Why do you want you? It ain't because you don't care about their heart. Everybody got it in their head. I want to show off, and I want to show everybody mine is better than yours, or I have more than you. Come on, think about it. Be realistic with me. Not with me. Be realistic with yourself. Right? It's in our head. Buying a Mercedes, a BMW, a Lexus, all those expensive cars, expensive clothes, all of that. Why? Why? We go in debt. Listen how bad it is. With this tiny home movement, is not just about tiny home. I keep telling folks, this new show that I got here, Tiny Homes, is about downsizing our lifestyle, downsizing our lives, and downsizing our mentality. We are programmed to keep wanting more and more and more. Somebody found out that it's in our natural DNA makeup to keep striving for more. It's in our DNA. That does not mean you have to act on it, you know? So, for the most part, we don't need the composting toilet. I've been using a bucket for over 20, 30 years. When things get rough, bucket it. Just hit that bucket. Listen, true story. It was times I didn't use a bag, but I had water so I could clean the bucket out. Me, my family, all these kids, and the kids enjoy it. Trust me, they enjoy it. One thing about a bucket, one size fits all. It don't matter how big you is, how little you is, you a baby. It don't matter. Everybody can squat over top of that bucket. If it's too low for you, go ahead and put a cinder block or two up under that sucker. You know, if you of the taller persuasion, put a couple cinder blocks under it. Raise it, get some elevation. But for the most part, being down, crouched down on that bucket like that, it kind of get that thing back to the future faster, if you dig what I'm saying. It's a medical thing too. They doing that. They get it where you can buy this little stool, put your feet up on, because it get that thing back to the future. Better, faster, more efficient, I guess. I don't know. Keep it lubed, I don't know. But sitting way down there on that bucket like that, get that thing up and rolling. Okay. So any questions whatsoever on that one? I think we pretty much we all pretty much know how that works. So we could get off with the number 1, the number 2, or the 12. Everybody like, I think I got it, Led. We've been talking about doo-doo for like 20 minutes, but that's it. We've already talked about the outhouse, Maryland. Okay. All right. So the next thing people asked me on the video of last week was electrical, and now I'm not gonna go too deep because I'll go too far. What you do for electricity, I'm going to add all this in. When you going to get your septic put in? When you going to get your water put in? We're going to talk about that. When you going to get your grid power put in? I'm not interested. Again, I'm taking you on our journey. I'm not buying land and living off the grid for YouTube. That's the problem. That comes with the whole story I just told about trying to impress other people. We messing ourselves up by trying to impress other people or trying to get views, clicks, likes, and thumbs ups on YouTube. And that's where stuff goes bad. So, did I just have I been gone this whole time? Did I blink out for a while? I hope not. All right. Thank you, Daisy girl. Thank you for that. I sure appreciate you. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Game Nerd Mom. Thank you, my sister. So, electrical. I'm not going to get in depth in that. I'm just going to tell you what I'm already running solar out there. We've been out there. It'll be a year. Us moving on the land, putting the RV on the land was February. Will you consider wind power? No, I ain't even gonna get into would that work? No, it would not. I don't even like talking about that because I've explained that a billion times. Wind power is a joke right now. Wind power is a joke for the average everyday guy, your backyard setup guy. It's a joke. That is for commercial use only. And just to prove my point on that, look how big a wind turbine really is. Those things, have you ever seen an actual wind turbine? It's ridiculous. That's why they so big and they need so many, because they'll never be able to compete with solar power. So, as far as electrical, we're running solar power. Solar and gas. And I'm going on my other channel and we're going to talk about gas power too, because I got a lot of stuff to say about gas. Okay. So electrical, solar and gas. That's all I can say on that. I'm not getting into all of that cartoonish stuff. Like, because the next question, I promise, if somebody ain't already asked it by now, is what about hydropower with your water? I'm not getting into that cartoonish stuff. Led, have you heard about the 500-gallon gas tank and diesel tank? I mean, what is it used for, Robert? Have I heard about a 500-gallon gas tank? For what though? Why would I hear about that? Like, what is that's not even like a, I don't even know if that's like a real question. You talking about like on a tanker truck or something? You could just supposed to put it on a farm and just fill up some gas truck supposed to come and fill it up every so often or something, or what? I'm just trying to see your point. A gas and diesel tank. Yeah, propane too, M. Edwards. Okay, hold on. Okay, now here we go. Callie Homestead with Pooh Bear. How you doing, Pooh Bear? In here, I ain't seen you, but oh, there you go. I see you. I see you. I see you. Game Nerd Mom, are you going to just use generators or going to do something fixed to the house ground? Right now, we just running generators, solar and gas generators. We're not at this moment. All of grid situations is it's like a no. We're not ready for none of that yet. None of that. I want everybody to understand Vision preparedness in the house. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. Vision in the house. The reason why we're not rushing to get a septic system or electrical or any of that. Number one, with electrical, with all of that, you pretty much need to have an established place that either you're working on, you're building, or something before they'll even do it. Number two, once you get all of that, you coming out of the pocket, because everybody keep thinking this stuff because they're watching this stuff on YouTube play out and they're watching on HGTV. Everybody keep thinking this stuff is cheap, and it's not. It is not cheap to have a septic tank, a well drilled, or electrical put in. None of the grid type activity. You better have your pocket right. So right now we're saving every dime that we possibly can to do everything pretty much in one smooth swoop. Right now we living like cavemen because, for instance, Princess Leia, she's saving $1,000 of rent just by living on the land. Think about that. $1,000 for rent, and then whatever utilities that she had to pay in her apartment now stays in her pocket to save, how she was able to purchase her cabin. Imagine that. Imagine if you could purchase a cabin for $9,000, right? Your rent is $1,000. How many people rent is higher than $1,000? I want to see a show of hands. How many people's rent is higher than $1,000? Show of hands. Rent, not mortgage. Your rent. Anybody's rent higher than 1,000, or I'll even take 900 and up. Hell, I'll take 500 and up. Matter of fact, while you putting your hand up, say how much your rent is. Is it 500, 575, 1,200, 1,900? Say how much. I want everybody in the chat to get an idea where rent has risen to right now. Everybody, if you are renting, let the whole world know. It's 446 people in here, and some of them, 1,100. What was that? 500. Oh, this thing moving. Oh my God. 1,100. 1,286. 1,495. Throw your rent up. 1,700. 1,400. 1,800. Keep it coming. Oh my God. I feel, oh Lord. Oh, bless all of y'all. 1,780. 1,000. 1,450 in New York City, 1-bedroom apartment. Man, you make me want to cry. 1,300. 1,200. 1,700 in euros. I definitely know that's more money in US dollars. So I'm gonna give you about 1,500. 1,060. 1,201. 2,100. Where do some of y'all live at? 1,800. 1,950. Good Jesus. $1,600, 1950, 1978, $450 to $900 a month. I want to give y'all an idea about each other's rent so you see where this world is going. Listen, and y'all see it ain't stopping. It's not stopping. 1,300, 1875, 900, 2,600 in North Maryland. Yeah, I said rent only. Rent only. Okay, so I'm done with that. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? I want to give y'all a round of applause. First, I want to say a little prayer for you. I had to say a little prayer, and that wasn't no joke. I don't play about praying. Let me tell you something. I pray that all of y'all find a better way out of that rat race. Did y'all see the money? If you go back on this chat later and calculate all of the money that was just put up on this screen, it was, oh my God, that was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars just in this one chat. It's only 400 people in here. Remember, it's only 400 people in here, and all of y'all damn near came up to all close to $1 million. Imagine. In just a few seconds, we did that. And y'all came up here and had at least $500,000 worth of rent. That today is about the 3rd. So y'all just had to pay that a couple of days ago. Some of y'all got a pink slip today or in the next 2 days if you didn't pay it. So my point is this. Imagine in just a few seconds, we put up $500,000 damn near from what I could see. I don't know. I could be wrong. It looked like $500,000 to me. That's going back into this system and lining the pockets of these rich land investors. The only thing you're getting out of the deal is shelter. You cannot benefit off of it. You can't borrow against it. You can't use that rental apartment to help you purchase a home. You can't use that rental apartment to help you further yourself in your endeavors to be a landowner. You cannot use that landlord's property to help you do anything. See, when you own a home, or you own a piece of land, no matter how big it is, you could own one of these little neighborhood lots with the fence in it because the house done burnt down and they mowed it down. So it's just a little empty lot full of grass with a little raggedy fence still around it. If you own that, you can still borrow against that. You mess around and pay $2,500, $5,000 for that little bitty plot of land. It ain't nothing but a damn near a quarter of an acre. It's just a lot, you know. But you still got something that you can borrow against. You can barter with when you renting, you can't do that. You can go and step into somebody's bank and say, look, I own that. What can you give me if I put this up for collateral? You can't do that with no rent. The reason why I wanted everybody to tell me what their rent prices was, or the rent that they know of, rather. My daughter's was $1,000. It went up $300 like overnight. Imagine if you could keep some of them horrific prices I saw. Imagine if you could keep whatever your rent is, multiply it times 6. I want you to do that in your head right now. If you can't do it in your head, pull out your calculator. If you multiply your rent, what you just put on the screen, times 6. The 6 is for 6 months. I seen a whole bunch of $1,800 in there, and that's probably for, and I ain't getting on y'all when I say Roach Motel. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about some little tiny spot. That ain't nothing. You probably paying all that money for nothing special. Somebody said New York City, a 1-bedroom. I think the price was $1,900. So imagine that. If I want everybody right now, do me a favor, multiply the rent that you put up on the screen times 6. That 6 is for 6 months. Imagine if you could save your rent for 6 months. I'm not going to talk about your utilities. I'm not going to talk about nothing else, because that's a whole nother factor. We ain't even going to do that. I just want your rent. Multiply your rent times 6. And put it up on the screen. It's from what it's looking like to me so far, y'all, $7,200. This is just 6 months now. $3,500, $8,000, $3,500, $11,250. $11,700, $12,000, $10,200 in euros, but I know that's probably $15,000 somewhere around there. I don't know the conversion. 7,716, 13,500, 10,800. $12,000, 12,600. The reason I'm doing this, in only 6 months' time, you have damn near got a third of buying a little decent piece of land. You got something significant and something substantial against land ownership. Imagine that. So imagine my daughter being able, like you could yourself. Imagine you being able to save everything that you was going to put into rent for 6 months, that you just putting in the pocket, put it under your mattress. 6 months. Imagine that. That's what this is all about. So land ownership just ain't for the freedom of owning your own. It's also for, have you ever thought about, I know we all had these wild dreams. Listen, I'm going to do this with y'all. We had these wild dreams when we was young. We still do it, probably more now that we're all adults. You ever sit around and y'all having a good time, and you say, hey, and y'all see that commercial come on with the Mega Millions, right? And you say, man, hey, bro, what would you do with that $1 million? What would you do if you had that $1 million right off that? Y'all start playing that game. How many people done played that game with their family members or friends? Y'all sitting around playing cards or something. What would you do if you hit that, man? You know, what would you do if you hit that lottery? How many people done played that game? See, that's a game that you could actually truly be playing right now for in real life. And it's obtainable. It's not up to fate or fake is what I call it, because it's rigged. I ain't gonna get into that. What if you could actually do this and it's obtainable? When we talk about winning the lottery and we playing that dream game, We talking about, there's be like, how many people played the game today? 40 billion. You put your little $2 or $3 on a lottery ticket, but it's 40 billion other people that played with you. It's a $2 million hit. If you hit with about 5 other people, you might be able to, pay off a couple of your cars or something, but you still did all that for nothing after taxes. If you did this and played this real true life game, hey honey, to which one? They in the living room on a table.
No, that's the other one.
Look through all of them. I got both of them in there. So that's the real deal. You could actually play this game and it be obtainable. So right now, that's the game that me and my family are playing. We bought the scratch-off ticket. We invested in the ticket. The only difference between a lottery and buying land is I know I'm going to win. Listen to me close. I know I'm going to win. And I'm going to get those extended settlement payments. I don't want the big lump sum. The settlement payments, the long payments is you getting a little chunk at a time every month. You guys been watching us move forward a little bit every time that camera go on and we on Freedom Acres. Those are my structured settlement payments coming back to me from winning that lottery ticket. Still, that's not it.
That's it.
Don't tell me I left my keys on the land. None of them is it. It got to be over there. That's my motorcycle keys.
Okay.
Well, what you trying to do?
The headphones left in there.
Not right now. Not right now. So just keep looking. So right. Moral. It's a guaranteed win. No structured settlements is coming because every month that passes after you purchase your land, you get the payment of the rent that you used to pay. The rent that you used to pay is your structured settlement. It ain't going out to the system no more. It's coming all back to you. If you paid $1,200 for rent, that $1,200 ain't going back out into the system. It's going into you building your system of your own. You're building your own community, right? Let me see. Okay. Okay. So that was my point. My daughter just in 6 months will save $6,000. Okay. In a year, $12,000. So on and so forth. That's money that's going straight. Whatever she need that for, she got it saved to the side. She living a minimal lifestyle right now. I'm going out back there this weekend and I'm spending the whole week with them. So y'all about to see some crazy stuff because I'm going out there and I want everybody to join us when we get back out to Freedom Acres because I will be teaching them how to use a wood stove in that tent. I will be showing them a lot of stuff that they just don't quite understand. They need some socks, some pants. Y'all see. Lisa, oh, you back. Good to see you. That's perfect. Lisa, get this. when you ask, will she work from there? You can, once you get on your land, whatever you do is up to you. Whether you work from home or you got to go to work every day. That won't matter one way or the other. But imagine this. Imagine you own some land of your own. Now, this will stop that lottery payment, but imagine you own some land of your own. You ain't really necessarily got to work nowhere. Because the price of taxes, you can go pick up aluminum cans and pay for your damn taxes and cash them into the recycling center and pay your land taxes. You really lightweight ain't got to work nowhere unless you're striving for more. Right. That's exactly right, Marmar. She just just like us, pretending you still got to go pay. Keep saving it. Yeah, they coming more and more. They coming. Can make do with a lot provided you have access to water. Very correct. Very correct. Hey, Moonstar said that's why the Almighty was guiding you to buy all those tents. Very right. I see. That just slipped my mind. That slipped my mind. Even Little Leg coming out there with us this weekend, and he ain't staying in the RV. He's staying in a tent too. I'm about to get my whole crew out here. Get in these tents. Get in these tents and start seeing what it feel like. Kareem said, after researching, I seen Arizona has cheapest land. Okay. Oh my God. We was just talking about that. Now, everybody know my wife is a realtor. That thumbnail on the beginning of this video is real. If you are looking for land or looking to purchase a home, she is licensed here in South Carolina and in Georgia. So that number is her business number. You can get in touch with her. Remember, on the thumbnail, the sign that we were putting in front of that nice house, that is real. That's not just a fluke. That was the real deal. Me and my wife were just talking about on the way home from that house. We was taking pictures. The land in Arizona, and we're going to go ahead and get into it now. That was supposed to be a subject for next week, but we're going to do it. We'll save the rest of this for later. Okay. Listen here. Kareem says, after researching, I've seen Arizona has the cheapest land. There are reasons for that. Now, we keep getting emails and comments, so on and so forth, asking this question. And some of the people might be here in this room. Dear Led, where can I get some cheap land? I don't know. One of y'all done asked me this. Matter of fact, about 30 people done asked me this. Where can I buy some cheap land? Can you please talk to Lady Led and see if she knows where I can buy some cheap land? I'm going to tell you why your statement is perfect for now while we're changing the whole structure of this video. Because number one, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as cheap land. The land that you could, because number one, you have to define the word cheap. My cheap might not mean your cheap. So when people ask me, can you find us some cheap land? Yeah, I could. Imagine this. I get this question so often. And say, I'm looking for some really, really, really cheap land because I'm trying to get out of here where I am at. Okay. Watch what you ask people like that. Watch what you ask folks, Because somebody's like, yeah, okay, what you, come on. How much money you got to spend? Oh, for real? Okay. Go down this alley. You're going to make a left at this fire hydrant, okay? You're going to see a dude stand on the corner in an Adidas tracksuit. His name is Rocco. Ask for Rocco. Rocco going to tell you where to go. He going to send you down the alley with Ray. Ray going to take care of you, and he going to get you that cheap lane. Look, how much, you sure you got that much money on? You got it on you? You got to have it on you before I send you down this alley. Okay. You go talk to Rocco, okay? And tell him I sent you. Watch who you talking to like that. Watch who you ask that question, because you're going to get the answer that you're looking for. And then once you get to the back of the alley with Ray and buy the pizza boxes, okay, where a few of the people live back there. Excuse me, how you doing? I'm your realtor. Well, look right over here. You got your perfect setup for a beautiful view of the rats. If you look to the east, you see a brick wall. It becomes your own movie theater. Look, people keep asking that question, and I keep telling them, stop asking that. My cheap might not be your cheap. That's not a good question to ask, family. That's not a good question to ask. Don't go to a professional realtor or land investor or any professional and say, when he say, so how much you got to spend? What you got first? This is like the streets. You don't show your hand before you get the product. Sorry. You don't show what's in your hand. You don't show what's in your briefcase till they show you what's in theirs. Right? So right there, you got to be like, look, man. Well, what you got? Just like at a car dealership, what you got? Well, just, it depends, because I need to know how much you're working with so I can see what to show you. You ain't got nothing else to do. You can show me this whole lot full of cars and you will be cool. Because when I walked up, y'all was playing football with them little paper triangles like this on your desk. You ain't got nothing else to do. So don't act like you all busy. You ain't got time to show me every car on the lot. So don't tell nobody how much money you got right out the gate. Show me the property first. Don't go in there talking like that, like, I just want some cheap land. I don't care where it is, but as long as it's away from here. Don't say that. You ever listen to this? You ever thought of back in the days of slavery? You know how a lot of the slaves was recaught? A lot of the slaves were recaught by going to the wrong person and telling them, can you help me? I'm trying to get free. Yeah, I can help you. Come with me. Matter of fact, get in the back of this wagon. Oh, by the way, put these bracelets on so they'll think that I captured you. Put these bracelets on, and just in case we get caught, they'll see that you got these on. And they'll think I captured you and I'm taking you somewhere else. You asking this dude, and he was one of the retrievers, just because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Right? You like, oh, well, thank you so much. You get back in the back of that wagon up under that hay, he take your ass right back to the plantation. So when you come and you don't know the questions to ask and you don't know the people to talk to, you got to let them know. Do your own research first and let them know you're knowledgeable of the situation, or you're going to mess around and go out looking for freedom and run into some brother man that's going to hook you back up and take you back to the plantation. Be careful. You'll run from one plantation to another. Right? So you got to watch your mouth, and you got to do your research and understand the lingo. You got to understand the words that are being used. There's certain words in this game that people know you know what you're talking about. It's a time to play smart and know your words and know your definitions, and it's a time to play stupid. When they think you're stupid, they try to pull one on you. No, don't deal with them no more. So when you're looking for that cheap land, truly 2023 family, there is no such thing anymore. There is no such thing. And that's the reason why we're all doing this, is because the little dude at the gate, if you know what I'm talking about, buying up all the farmland, and all his other rich buddies is buying up all the land. It's only one reason. Everybody keep talking about, oh, they buying all the land because they about to be making us eat magic meat. I keep telling y'all, that's not it. That's not it. Y'all thinking of this on a more sci-fi kind of level. That's not it. They don't give a damn what kind of food you eat, or the scientists. They don't care about that. They're buying all the land so you can never own any. Put your business thinking cap on. Let's put our business thinking cap on. If I want to stay rich forever, I need income forever. So if I buy everything that people do, and every time they go buy a burger, buy some clothes, buy some shoes, buy a car, you got to pay me if I own all of those stores. The place you work at, if I own that manufacturing company, you work for me. Then when you get your so-called paycheck, you're going to turn around and go spend it in one of my stores. Let me tell you this. Me and my wife bought a timeshare condo in Orlando. So every time you see me in Orlando, we're staying in our condo in Orlando. I've had it for a long time. It's paid off, it's mine. But one thing still stands. They want, and you got one of these timeshare condos, even if you own one of those luxury cruises or something, the reason why they have everything you could ever imagine right there. You don't have to leave their resort. You got swimming pools, movie theaters, grocery shopping stores in there, tanning salons, barbecue pits, small national parks, ponds for fishing. The reason they do that is so every cent you spend, it stays with them. They don't want you to go outside and spend your money at Wally World. They want you to spend they're trying to make it so you never have to leave their resort. Imagine this. We don't even realize it, right? They're trying to make the whole United States a plantation. They're trying to make the whole United States of America a resort. I'm going to tell y'all this. How many people live in Florida? How many people live in Florida? I know you're going to feel me because y'all have seen this all the time. If you live in Central Florida, I know you know. When you go to a resort, they have workers that live on the lot. They have workers, all of their workers, the cleanup crew, the chefs, the cooks, everything. They live there at the resort in their own little section. Everybody know, right? So all the workers, they live on the land, on the spot. Imagine this. You're working for the same people. When you get a paycheck, you got to give them your rent for staying there. You're paying lights to them, water to them, gas and energy to them. And then you paying your food back to them. They got it. So these people are basically on a plantation, but since we changed the word to resort, they can get away with that. These people really have no money to send to their families wherever they're coming from, because all of the money is being spent to have their survival stay right in that resort. They even have their own transit system. You need to get to the east side of the resort, to the west side of the resort, get on this little bus. And it take you. You got to pay for it, though. You got to pay your little bus pass. Right? What this is that's going on now, the reason why we own this whole land ownership thing is because they're trying to do the whole United States of America like that. You'll never really be, they're trying to make it so you'll never really be able to own anything. They just want it where you're working at their place of employment. I'm not even, I hate calling it a paycheck because really all it is a voucher. It's really just a voucher. Your paycheck is really a voucher because you're going to take the paycheck that they give you because you're working for them. You're going to take that voucher paycheck and go spend it in their stores that they own, their restaurants that they own, their grocery stores that they own, everything they own. So the money never really truly leaves them. It never leaves their pocket. All they getting out of you is free labor, son. We ain't nobody thinking. All you're getting out of that is shelter. That's it. You're not getting anything out of it. You don't own jack. And if that system, the head of the system, we're going to call him sir. We're going to call him Mr. If Mr. is not satisfied with your performance and banish you away from his resort, all you got to do is put the word out all across Orlando, Florida to every other resort. Don't hire this one. Don't hire this one. And then once you go out with your family, your 2 kids, and you can't get a job at no more of these other resorts, you come back with your tail between your legs. Guess what he going to do? We'll take you back, but we're going to cut your pay. We're going to cut your rations. We're going to up your hours, your work hours, until this debt is paid off. How can you pay off a debt when they take money from you and make you work even harder? See, the mentality of how this rock was, I ain't gonna say how it was built, how they started this game back in the day off them ships, that mentality has never changed. It just put on a disguise. It just put on a disguise. They changed, I told you I hate people play with words. They changed the word from plantation to resort. They changed certain words from Mr., we're going to call him, to CEO. Ain't no different. You see them people down there striking up north. I used to work at that plant up north. You see my whole family work in that damn plant up there at Jeep, Fiat Jeep, and the UAW. I used to work for the UAW. I used to work for Chrysler. I used to work for Ford and GM. I'm a UAW member. Up north, all the auto workers are on strike. You know why they on strike? Because people don't quite understand how this works. You know what they striking for? I left Chrysler, I want to say in 2008, 2009-ish, something like that. They have not got a cost of living increase since. It's almost 20 years later, and they're still making the same money that I made almost 20 years ago. So when people think you're working in all of these big automotive plants and they all highly paid and stuff, they make good money. But y'all don't know what they got to do for that money. So I just wanted to put a little understanding on that, okay? Let's make it more realistic so everybody kind of understand, because maybe I went over a few people's head with that. People look at dancers, we gonna call them, okay? the kind that wipe the pole off first. People look at them as how could you do that, you know? How could you do that? They didn't do it right. A lot of them ain't do it right out. Some of them just was having fun and got a little carried away. But they end up getting caught in that trap. And the next thing you know, they stuck in that mess because y'all think just because y'all see these big ballers coming in there, making it rain on them, that money ain't theirs. That's the club owner's money. Y'all seen Players Club? I think we all seen Players Club. That's their money. Why you think she got to come back tomorrow and show her body again? She don't necessarily, most of them chicks up there don't necessarily want to be doing that. You know? But she got to pay this rent because she part of that resort. Ain't no different with the strike going on with the automotive industry. How would you fit? Them people can't get it. They look, some people like, I wish this old ass man retired. He supposed to retire 20 years ago. I used to say that. I used to be the young buck in there saying that stupid mess. Like, man, this dude was supposed to retire. I can't get his position because he won't retire. I used to say that at the post office too. I know why people can't retire. Because if they got you by the balls and keep you spending in their plantation resort to the point you don't really own anything, by the time it's time for you to actually retire, I promise you, I ain't going to tell y'all to say yourself. Tell me somebody you know that it was when it was time for them to retire. They couldn't. Raise your hand if you know somebody like that. They wanted to retire, but they financially could not do it. That's why you have, raise your hand if you know somebody like that. That's why you have a lot of our elders still being greeters at Walmart, because the stuff that they promised you was a lie. You'll be able to retire, sit back in your nice little house in your rocking chair, collect that check every month. But ain't nobody talking about the politicians is dwindling away all their pensions and eating up and making up excuses. How many people saw that the truckers union where they took all of them truckers' pension? That man screaming and shouting, man, they've been working for over, almost 28 years or over 30 years, and they took 30 years of this man's pension to so-called keep the man's business open without their knowledge. Without their knowledge, they took everybody's pension in that doggone trucking company and used it to keep the doors open on that company. Now, that was supposed to be a vote between the company and the workers. You can't go taking nobody money they've been saving for 30 years so you can stay rich. It ain't just to keep the doors open. It's so you can stay up in that log cabin in the mountains. Man. You see what I'm saying? They're not striking because they're trying to be greedy. Them people can barely survive hand to hand, fist to fist every week. Because imagine this, what the some of the money that some of the UAW members is working now. I'm banking on what I used to make. Amazon workers is making that now. I'm gonna tell you another one. What the UAW spend all day and night building those automobiles and cars and trucks and everything for everybody, all that money, you can make just as much money driving Uber Eats. And you in your car laughing and joking all day, delivering other people's food. You ain't sweating and getting burnt. I got scars all over my damn body from working in automotive plants most of my life. This ain't from construction, all these scars all over me. This is from getting burned up, from being a welder, from being a grinder, from being on the line. Most of my scars on my body literally came from working in automotive plants most of my younger life. People, have you ever seen a man catch on fire? Just on fire, just fire. I've seen people catch on fire to the point, but hey, somebody put him out. You don't even get excited no more. It's just a thing. I'm sorry, I got in my feelings about that. But for the most part, the reason why we're talking about this land ownership is so we can stop that. And the reason why there's such an urgency, and I keep putting such an urgency on it, is because you better get it while it's even gettable. Because if they keep buying up all the land everywhere, imagine this. You know how every time something happened, a storm is coming, or a tornado, hurricane is coming, and everybody flood the Walmart and take all the water. They take all the 5-gallon buckets. They take all the first aid kits, and you in there late to the party, and you in there looking for just a couple jugs of water for you and your kids. Imagine that forever. That feeling of desperation trying to find water and supplies when a storm is coming. Imagine that forever. Right? Because the reason I say forever, because if all the land is gone and you can't buy no more, just like the water in the store is gone and the survival supplies is gone, that's what this really is, y'all. This is life. This is generational survival. Because if they buy up all the land, that means your children and your children's children won't even have the opportunity. Right now, how many people agree with me? I'm 50 years old, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm the last generation. I'm gonna call it, and I know it, I don't mean to make y'all young folks mad, but I'm gonna say something that y'all don't quite understand because you didn't live back when I'm gonna call it. I'm the last generation. I'm 50 years old. I'm the last generation. I'm a special generation, actually, because I'm the last generation to see no cell phone, use a payphone, to having technology that I'm talking to you and you might be in doggone Hong Kong somewhere. I'm the last generation of no technology. I'm the last generation of opportunity. And I'm not talking about the opportunities of using technology to put money in your pocket. I'm talking about real, true, hardcore. You can't take this power from me. See, the power of the internet can be taken from you. See, so you do have that on me. The younger children of today, you do have that knowledge over me. But I'm going to tell you one thing. It can be taken from you like that. If you say the wrong word on your platform or on the internet, they will shut it down. I don't care if you got 40 billion subscribers. They'll take that off and you will never be seen or heard from again. They can't take your land, though. This is still the time where you can purchase land. This is going to be the last generation that we're going to be able to purchase land outright without no flim-flam and thank you, ma'am. This is that last generation. Once they figured out, we can't bomb them. They keep coming back. We can't flood the place with drugs. They keep coming back. We can't keep on beating and killing them and locking them up in prisons. They keep coming back. What can we do to get rid of all these mugs? Light bulb. If we own everything, this is their idea, mister. We can start, I don't want to say, MAGA hatting, with lack of better words. Because if they own everything, you a slave to the system. You will be a slave to the system. And that's what they've been wanting the whole time. They don't want nobody to feel free. They don't want nobody to be out enjoying life. You need to be sweating blood for folks, man. They ain't happy until you hurt. They ain't happy till you bleeding. If you're not bleeding, and I've been on jobs like this, until you bleed, Nate, oh, you soft, you a punk. Until you got calluses on your hand and calluses on top of your calluses, they think you a soft worker. Until you missing one of your damn digits, you ain't put in enough time yet. This world has gotten to a point that Mr. ain't happy till you missing a couple digits. One of your eyes is missing. You got a patch on it. You cuss like a sailor. True story. I did not used to curse before I started working in the automotive industry. But that's the only thing that anybody understood. That's the only way they gave you respect. As foul and nasty, and it's such a bad habit I still carry with me today, unfortunately. Wow. You mean to tell me this is how we got to live to communicate with one another? I got to call you a fistful of MFers and a pocket full of B's just to get you to do something? But that's the system. The system wanted like that. And right now is the last generation where we can actually make that stop, at least for your family, at least for your generations to come in your bloodline. Because there's people out here still partying, still buying expensive cars they can't afford. I know some people with a car payment that's almost $2,000 a month for a car that sits in the driveway and birds doo-doo on it. Telling you, this is messed up. I think this is the last generation of true land ownership. Frankly, of even home ownership, because soon as people is buying out, selling these houses, you know who buying all the houses up? Land and home investors. Investors. Hold on, give me two ticks. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Medication got me running. Not a number two, number one. But look, if you ain't heard nothing I said yet, I'm here to tell you. I mean, from you can just look and see. I'm not pulling your chain. It make more sense than everybody like, you know what they're buying the land for, because they're gonna be putting these computer chips in the potatoes, and then they're gonna have us eating McDonald's fries, and the next thing you know, we're gonna get the mark of the beast. I don't listen to people like that. That's all you hear on the internet is nonsense like that, because everybody wants this to be some kind of damn Stephen King movie, and they don't want to accept the truth is so simple. The truth is more sinister than anything you could ever imagine. Everybody waiting for this as the world turns kind of scene with Victor Newman is about to smack Jessica kind of thing go on and the world gonna change. No. It's not gonna happen like that. Everybody is always thinking, well, see, this is what the man got planned for, see. If they poison the water, see, they turn around and put these micro robots. Y'all heard about the micro robots. You drink this smart water. That's why they call it smart water. If you take the S and the M and add the A to it, it ain't that. You ain't got to do none of that. It's way more simple than that. The more simple, the more sinister it is. Hey, look how simple, and you have to make people believe all that microchip bullshit, right? You gotta really do some proving. How easy is it for me to say they're gonna buy up all the land so you can't buy it? Ain't got nothing to do with magic meat, them making meat in a lab. It ain't got nothing to do with none of this stuff they spraying on vegetables and tomatoes. It ain't got nothing to do with robots and AI. It ain't got nothing to do with none of all of that garbage. Nothing. I ain't got to prove nothing about AI. I ain't got to prove nothing about magic meat. I don't got to prove what's in some of these plant-based sandwiches. Nope. It's simple. It's simple business that we all watch every day. It's the game of Monopoly. If I own the whole board, you're my slave. You're the slave to this game forever. If I own the whole Monopoly board, I even own the jail. I told y'all this before, because once I own the jail and you go into jail, like, hey man, how much it say to get you out? How much? 300. Here, man, put that on your jail. You can get out of jail and come back around the board and give me that money right back. This is a game, family. It's simpler than we think. It's a game. It's just like the game of Monopoly. I'm gonna show y'all. Show y'all this. Show you better than I can tell you. I got about. I don't know how many of these I got. Not just this one, but I got the actual games, you know. Me and my family play the heck out of these games. Now, this is a compact one, but this is more than a game. This is a life lesson. You know why I raise my kids up, all my kids, when the lights go out or we just want to play. This is what I always play with my children. This is what I've been playing since I was a kid with my family, my father, mother, brothers, and sisters. My brother was so good at it. The reason why we played this, to the point, even when I found this compact one, I've had this for a few years. I've never played this one, but this fits in my bookshelf. I've never played with it because this is a symbol of exactly what this world is doing to us. Right? It's a game. It's all a game. If look at the court system. Now, we're still talking about land and home ownership, land ownership. All of this coincides with one another. Imagine this. Look at the court system. Look at the court system. Just like I just told you, if you land on the jail on the board, I've never opened this before, but we're going to do it today. I've never even done this. If you land on that guy, I can bail you out. I can bail you out. I can still bail you out. Imagine that. In the real life court system, whoever got the money can get anybody out, no matter what you did, right? Imagine that. In real life, it's no different than this. If you got somebody with your backing, like some of these entertainers, rap stars, and stuff like that, thank you for that, off-grid trucker. Thank you, my friend. So, peace and blessings, brother. I have 16 acres of land out here in the Ozark that I purchased 2 years ago. Now it's worth 3 times more. Get some land now or be happy owning nothing. It's a monopoly. Hey, man, I could have said it better myself. Imagine that, family. To the point where in real life jail, if you got somebody, you're an entertainer, rap star, rock and roll musician, whatever, you got that kind of money, and your people that run your show, your managers have got that kind of money, need you out of jail, you'll get out. If all the stuff that Michael Jackson went through, he ain't never spent a day in jail. It's a dude running around right now with a fistful of indictments. Don't say his name. He running around with a fistful of indictments. He ain't spent a day in jail. He went to a photo op. That's what I call it. He went to a photo op. He ain't spent a day in jail. Long as you got money, get out of jail free all day. That's like the game. Like, hey man, I'll get you out of here. Because guess what? Soon as I let you out of the jail, all you're gonna do is come and spend your money in all my establishments anyway. So I'm getting my money back just so you can spend more money in my establishments. You're gonna go broke. I don't want you to go broke in prison. I want you to give me my money. I want you to give me that money. That's how that works. Ain't no difference. Right now, this is the last. My own opinion, if you don't mind. My own opinion. I think this is the last generation of personal land ownership, because if I was wrong on that, those rich folks wouldn't be in such a rush to be buying up farmland, all this land. They buying it to turn them into solar farms, or to buy it to make their own stuff so you can build their stuff on it so you can't own it. They're building subdivisions now that is lease-only subdivisions all across America. Nobody in this whole subdivision owns any one of these houses. They all lease it. Remember, there was a time when the leasing option for automobiles, buying a brand new automobile, when the leasing option really took off and got big back in the early 90s and the 90s, the leasing option, they were trying to do it then. They didn't want nobody to own a car no more. They wanted you always to depend on them. And that's why the rules for leasing a car was, once you're done, you can't go over this mileage. You can't scratch the car up. You can't beat the car up. If anything you go over this contract, then you owe a penalty. You still didn't own the car. You just owe these penalties. If you want to purchase the car, that whole contract damn near starts over again. That leasing, they want to lease everything. So if they own all the land, just like the car dealerships did, and all they doing is leasing people out, they're renting to you. Lease ain't nothing but another damn word for rent. It's a fancy word for rent. Thank you, Karen L. Karen L says, nothing but facts here. People think it's crazy, but housing, food, medical care, and are getting harder to afford, with everyone more independent on someone else giving it to them. Amen. Amen. Right. Certified pre-owned, that guy from Texas. Right. AM Magical Garden said, you're right. There are solar farms now off every highway leaving Las Vegas. Hey, in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida too. Where there used to be corn, wheat down in Florida, there was orange groves. Now, I've been going back and forth to Florida for years, and where I've talked to Eco Neighbor about this. The places where I used to see orange groves, it's solar panels or something now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Ms. Christian said, yes, leasing is just borrowing something and paying while they allow you to use it. Exactly. So think about this. The reason why we're talking about downsizing our lifestyle, buying all this stuff and this junk, where you could invest right now, start trying to invest in some actual tangible, something that'll be yours forever. Something that'll be yours forever, right? Everybody, I'm going to say this. Everybody always talk about invest in gold, silver, and diamonds. How many people hear that? I hear that a lot. We should be investing in gold, silver, and precious metals and precious gems. The question I have is, what are the best options for purchasing land that isn't attached to a scammer? You got to do your research for that. No, there's no universal way for that. You have to do your research and find out if they're in a scammer or not. Say, I never understood leasing a personal car. If you want to own it, then own it. Then you still have to pay after the lease is done. Yep. I never understood it either. I can understand it if you're going to be doing it for a temporary time. You're going to be in a place for a temporary reason. I don't know. What's up, J3GS? What's going on, brother? It's good to see you in here. Let me see. Okay, everybody say good and gold and silver is just a waste of money. Save up for land, pay it outright. Amen. That's okay. That was my point. As I was waiting for listen, there's nothing wrong with buying precious metals, jewels, and gold and stuff. But when people start getting hungry, ain't nobody thinking about that. Nobody's going to want to exchange this piece of gold. Think about this. When the price of gold, silver, all that stuff, everybody keep acting like the price of gold and silver don't fall. Do everybody remember when the price of gold dropped so low, did everybody just start offloading it? And that's when all of those stands start popping up in the mall to say, we take all kind of gold, little pieces, your mama old broken wedding ring, we'll take some chain you found in the street, all the little pieces. All these little gold shops start popping up in every mall, every corner, every shopping center. How many people remember that? The price of gold falls just like the dollar does. And it all stems around, when people can't eat and people can't get nothing to drink, your jewels are worthless. We don't even want it. And look, I was one of those people. I used to always find little gold chips. We lived in Toledo, Ohio, and that was like ancient native land. Well, it's all ancient native land. But Ottawa Park was known for finding relics, which I used to find some kind of way. I was lucky, I guess. I used to find relics all the time. Gold coins that belong to, I'd rather not say. If I would have knew when I was younger, I would have knew what I just found was priceless. The little piece of gold that I found, I could probably be living off of that money to this very day. And I found that probably when I was like 13 years old, 12 years old. If I would have knew then what I know now, see, I'll probably be rich right now, never ever having to work off that coin I found. But when you own land, it don't depreciate. The house on the, let's get something straight. Right. Let's get something straight, because I've heard this argument too, and I'm gonna get off here in a minute. I've heard this argument. The argument has been, you eat off the gold and the silver, you trade it in, yada, yada, yada. And your land can depreciate too. Your house on that land will depreciate. Your land still stays the same. I don't care how bad the neighborhood is, nothing. That piece of land is, now I'm only speaking from documentaries and news clippings that I've been seeing my whole life. Real true events. There are places in New York and Brooklyn, the Bronx, places in Chicago where some of the worst neighborhoods there was in those cities. Even in Detroit is still struggling on theirs, but in all parts of New York City, there was places that nobody would pay $2 for rent to stay in, right? Because it had run down so bad in that area. Boom. The buildings was worthless. The land was still priceless. The land was still priceless. The buildings were no longer worth anything. The land. Do y'all remember when I was a kid, they always used to say, like, on the beginning of Good Times and every black television show, they always showed parts of Brooklyn and parts of New York where all the brick crumbled down and beat down, and kids flipping on dirty mattresses and stuff. They always showed that now, right? We looked at that in the beginning of Good Times, in the beginning of all of our That's Your Mama. We used to watch that stuff and be like, damn, how can people live like that? Now, I'm speaking from a person from a distance, right? They were playing in the rubble. The children were playing in the rubble, you know, where hip hop started. They rapping and there's rubble behind them. Remember Houdini standing on the stoop, but some of the buildings on the side of them wasn't nothing but piles of rubble. The buildings were worthless, but all of those investors came in because the land is still priceless. They just wanted us to run it down to a point where it was unlivable, to the point of, look, you will take $10 for that and I'm going to sell it. You're going to sell it to me for $10. I'm going to buy it. And then we're going to turn around and put a whole bunch of boutiques and all kind of fancy restaurants, Emerald Lagasse and everybody coming up in here. And now this land that I just bought from you for $10 is now worth $150 million for this one little plot of land between these two buildings. To this very day, it's doing that. There was some, the news clippings that I was getting to was there were some elders that was holding out. Like, I'm not leaving my apartment. I'm not leaving my one little house. It's this one lady, if y'all remember this newsreel, this one lady, she would not sell. She went to the Supreme Court so they could not buy her one little piece of property. So you know what them boutiques did? Them boutiques and them fancy restaurants, they couldn't buy her out. She won her court case. But now, I always thought, did she win or did she lose? She lost. She won the battle, but she lost the war because she was able to keep her little tiny house right there, right? But they built a boutique this close to her damn house on this side and a fancy restaurant and a shoe store on this side. Skyscrapers. So she gets no sunlight. She gets no air. She gets no breeze, nothing. Where this used to be a nice neighborhood in Brooklyn, now is a fancy restaurant, boutiques, and all this crazy lights and stuff and noise. And this little lady's little cute little 2-bedroom home. Smack dab in the middle of it. To the point, I don't quote me on this because this might be another story, but I think she passed on. And they ended up making her house, instead of mowing it down and just buying the land, they actually made her one little house between those two big giant skyscrapers, like a little museum, a little to her, in honor of her. Anybody ever hear about that? Okay. Your land don't depreciate. Let me tell you something. Why land is one of the most powerful things. Land is the most powerful thing on this planet. I'm going to tell you why. The quest, not for jewels, not for gems, not for stones, not for minerals, has not caused as much devastation to the human beings, the humankind, as the quest for land. Think about all the wars, all of the bloodshed, all of the lives lost over the course of all of history of humanity was always started because they wanted somebody else's land. It was always a war started because it's a war going on right now because somebody wants somebody else's land. Come on now. I can't make this up. If you really think about it, it wasn't that we want your land. Listen to what I said. We want your land because it got extra minerals on it. We want your land because it got extra jewels on it. The jewels and stuff, they know it's going to run out. They know they're going to mine it all out. But that land will forever be priceless. The jewels and the minerals and the stones in the land It's just the cherry on the cake. We're going to pick them off, eat them up, and now it's time to cut this cake. And that's what they did. They mined off all the minerals, all the stones, all the stuff off, all these pieces of land, all the gold out of the West. That, remember the gold rush? They mined up all the damn minerals and the gold and everything. And now let's cut this into sections like a cake and all take a piece of it. The United States ain't nothing but a big old piece of cake. They done cherry picked all the good pieces off. So that's telling you from a historical standpoint, even not just in the United States of America, in Europe, Rome, Italy, all of them ancient wars was fought over land. We want your land and we coming to take it. Not we want your women and your children. Not that we want your lumber. We want your land. Over all the courses of history and all the research and studying I've done all my life from high school on, because that's when I really took an interest in history. Break it all down. It was always usually the bottom line of why we're fighting is because somebody wants somebody else's land. Because once you own the land, you own the laws and the rules to be made. For instance, the North and the South. If we own this land and become one land, we can make the rules that y'all can't be doing that to them people no more. That's why all the wars is always fought. So what ends up being the most important thing, even to this very day, is the land. Your house that you put on the land don't mean jack. The house that you put on the land, that's just some tangible stuff that makes a little extra money for the banks and the investors and all the other creatures that want to sell you stuff for the house. Once that house melts into the earth, true story, I literally, if you live in the South, especially in the Carolinas, you will drive past a house that the yard took over, like the yard swallowed this old trailer up. The house swallowed up this old little 2-bedroom home. The land reclaims that house. So when you buying a piece of land, like y'all saw that little shack on my land, right? They didn't sell me the shack. You go looking for land, it'll have a little shack on it. They'll be like, we ain't selling that, we selling the land. You mean to tell me you want $125,000 for the land? That ain't got nothing to do. You be like, what if I don't want the house and that can just get tore down? So tear it down. That don't got nothing to do with the land price. If there was a house on it, we're talking about, now we went from $125,000. If there was a livable house standing on the land, now we're talking about $500,000. But long as that house gets torn down, mowed down, look at all the people that keep going through hurricanes, tornadoes, everything that washes their house away or blows their house down. Do you think the property value on that land changes just because their house got blown away by a tornado? That land profit, the price of that land, the worth of that land still stands. That house can blow away in the wind. They don't care. They'll still sell that land. It was 200. It was 300,000 with the house on it. The house got blown down in a tornado. Now they want 250,000, 295,000 for that plot of land with the house blowed off. Do your research, you will see. When the house used to stand on it, they wanted 300,000. The house blew away in a tornado. Now they want $280,000. The house was a $300,000 house. What? Do your research. So my whole point of all saying all of this is I'm trying to get through folks' head how important, how precious land and land ownership truly is. Truly is. We out here spending money on cars, man. Make it make sense to me, family. Family, look, we out here spending. I saw, listen, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't like it. I just seen the new Escalade for 2024. I think it's 2024, 2025. They want $130,000 for the electric Cadillac Escalade. It was in my feed, and I wanted to know more about it because it was that nice looking of a vehicle to me. But let me tell you something. $130,000. Let's break this down to the very last compound. For a car. Let's take the word Escalade off. Take off the word Cadillac. Take out the words leather seats, heated seats. Let's take out the word automated driving. Let's take out it's all electric. It's a car. Now, unless you can have some private time with this car. And, I don't know. Spent too long in the driver's seat. And some kind of way, this car was able to bear your child. Okay. $130,000 for until you can do that still makes it a car to me. It's a car. You can't tell it you love it. You can't snuggle up to it at night. You can't do none of that. You can't tell it your deepest, darkest secrets, and it empathize and sympathize with you. None of that. It ain't gonna rub your hair when you ain't feeling good, or while you sleep is doing this because it think you so cute. It's a car. It's only a car. 130. And all the other vehicles they coming out with now is damn near close to right now that you can buy right now. They talking about $70,000, $80-something thousand for a Toyota Tundra. All of that. You can go on down the list. I used to laugh at them people in them little smart cars about that big. Them were the smartest suckers out there. People is buying that, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, to prove to you and me that they have more than you and me. And they're paying that car note every month for the next 5 years. They're paying $5,000 car note because remember, it's a car. It's not a house. If that was a house for $130,000, they'd be probably paying about, I don't know, $500, $600 a month if it was a house or land. It's a car. So their car note gonna be about 5 stacks every month. Every month. For 5 years. Because most of that payment is going towards the interest. Get on out of here. But you see these cars out here. I seen there's plenty of people riding around these brand new Corvettes. Go price a brand new Corvette. I think it's 130 or 122, 120. Brand new Corvette, 2023 Corvette. It's people that actually own them. You own a Corvette and you don't own nothing else. You don't own nothing tangible. You can't pass that kid. That car ain't gonna do nothing for your children. Car ain't gonna feed your children. That kind of money, man. I look at it like this. Now, because I'm a gadget man myself, I'm not gonna take nothing away from nobody. I'm not gonna say nobody dumb for that. You ain't. I'm just saying our priorities are screwed up. If you're gonna buy a $130,000 car because you can do it like that, damn, get some land for your family first. Get a place for everybody to lay down at, Just saying. So anyway, I ain't gonna get off back into that, y'all. Do I have any questions whatsoever before we cut out? Any? I just wanted to let everybody know this is why I've been just screaming so bad. Like, man, y'all should do more research and get into this, because they tearing our pockets off with this rent and this mortgage. Man, I think mortgage rates, interest rates right now is so horrible. Oh my God. I'm even with interest rates being this bad, because they bad. Even with interest rates being this bad, they ain't going down. They ain't getting better. The prices of the land ain't going down. They ain't going. I don't know what everybody keep waiting for. Keep talking about some, well, I'm going to wait till the housing market come down a little bit. You better get you a straw hat and get you and exercise, do some back exercises, get you a hoe and some good boots, because you're going to be singing some spirituals out here on somebody else's land in a minute, because there ain't going to be no more you can buy. It's going to be bought up. The little man at the gate and these millionaires and billionaire investors, why you think they acting so fast? Why do you think they moving so fast? Why do you think they buying so much so fast? Why do you think the real estate investors are now switching from buying a house, flip it, and get rid of it? Instead of that, they buying the house, and they're leasing it. No more lease to own, just leasing it. How much do I know much about 401k? For what? Golden transitions. What do you mean? I'm driving my Resurrection Sunday. Say I'm driving my 98 Ford that I bought for $1,000, and I don't care what the neighbors think, because it drives me to my land that they don't have any. Lady sold her multifamily house and units to rent now. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. We got to be just a little bit more smarter in the way we move. Yep. Say, yep. Airbnb. You know, if we see, let me tell you there. Remember the days we was investing in people was investing in Amazon and Microsoft. Remember that? When Amazon wasn't even heard of, Microsoft wasn't heard of, Uber Eats wasn't heard of, Walmart wasn't heard of. Remember when everybody was investing in those stocks and those shares in those companies? Everybody kept on saying, y'all really need to get a little piece of this right here. This company gonna blow up. This company gonna blow up. This one right here is doing something way different than everybody else. This one gonna blow up. The thing about investing in those stocks with Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, the things that was different about those stocks back in the day, you investing in those, even though you got a good word that these companies is going to blow up, when you deal in the stock market, you still hear that every day, don't you? You hear it every day. Because no matter what, it's still a gamble. You're going off somebody else's word and hoping that the person that owns that company really is about to blow up. It's still a gamble. The only investment right now that you can invest in that you know that it is definitely going to blow up, definitely make you rich in one way, form, or fashion, it's definitely going to pay you back 1,000 times fold over time is investing in that land. It's better than Microsoft. It's better than Amazon. It's better than Uber and Walmart. You want to know how I know? I'm going to give you proof, living proof. Because all of the people that own Amazon, Walmart, Uber Eats, Microsoft, Apple, all of them are investing in land. Every last one of those billionaires now, they used to be, couldn't rub two nickels together. All of them have reverted back to the beginning of something that we all think is so minuscule. They're all investing in land. They're spending all of their fortunes to purchase as much land as they possibly can. I've even read, one of them little suckers is even starting to buy pieces of the moon, pieces of Mars. That's not a myth. They're buying. If you can buy air here on Earth, because you can, that's why you need to know if you own your own airspace. If you can buy air and you can buy parts of that ocean out there, which you can, they out there buying pieces of the moon, pieces of Mars, and they keep on flying back and forth to them places. If you see stuff like this, man, that's time for us to wake up and be like, what is, not just what is they doing to keep coming up with all kind of, see what they're doing is, okay, they're going to put the chip in our hand, and that way they can keep track of, no, simpler than that. Instead of us sitting around getting smoked up, coming up with stupid ass conspiracy theories, what we need to do is sit around and look, what do we do when we see somebody running? Come on, family, say it. I'm going to let you say it. When somebody running past us, we standing still and we just talking, chopping it up. And somebody run past us at full speed, screaming. We don't even look the other way to find out why he running. When we see somebody running, come on, family. When we see somebody, what do? We don't ask no questions. What do? 3 letters. It's even a video to be like, run, dun, 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 dun. Okay. Damn right. When we see something that don't make sense, quiet night, everything is calm. We sitting around, just chewing the fat. It's a beautiful night. The air is blowing, nice breeze. And this dude comes screaming down the street, running. He ain't said nothing to us. We run with him. That's what's happening right now. You see all these millionaires, trillionaires running by us doing crazy stuff. And we're acting like the damsel in distress in a Freddy Krueger movie. What do the girl in the Freddy Krueger movie do? Every time she running from Jason and Freddy, she what? Falls. She trips. And she don't even get right back up and start running again with hopes to be. She turns over like, run. We watching these dudes do this. And we're acting like the damsel in distress instead of taking heed and start doing what they are doing. They're buying up all the land. Listen, they didn't become millionaires, trillionaires, and billionaires because they stupid. I'm not saying nothing else, but y'all understand what I'm saying. They didn't make this much financial fortune because they're stupid. I ain't saying they ain't crooked. I ain't saying they ain't evil, but I am saying also, they didn't get to where they are because they're stupid. So if you see a millionaire and a billionaire and a trillionaire investing, dumping all of their wealth into this stock investment, you don't think it's a good idea for you to do it too? That's what they're doing. They're investing in a stock that you can still own right now. You getting in at rock bottom, well, you ain't rock bottom basement no more, but we right there where they about to close the doggone Dow Jones and everything. You better hurry up, right? While they still sell, buy. Right now, we're watching them do it on the news, on social media, and we all keep sitting around like, you know what? I know what they're doing. They buying that land so they can have a place so the aliens, because here's some aliens, so the aliens have somewhere to land they ships, right? And then they go into that secret mountain on the side. See, that's why they're doing this. Cut that shit out. We waste too much time on the conspiracy theories and not no time watching the actual simple truth. Bread and butter. Simple truth. If you see all them dumping all of their fortunes in doing this, maybe we need to follow suit because there's something more to this. They ain't doing this because they ain't got nothing better to do. They got more money than they know what to do with. Their families will be rich until the earth burns up. You tell me why they doing that. What makes more sense? They buying up all this land so you can't never own none, or they buying some landing pads for aliens. I'm gonna let you run with that. For next week, I'm gonna set this up right now. Next week we're gonna touch on. I think we did utilities. Next week we're gonna touch on. I'm gonna pick one. How much is too much for purchasing land? How much is too much? We're going to talk about that next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. on Tiny Talk Tuesday. I hope to see everybody there because next week I'm going to let everybody in because I've heard a lot of opinions on how much you should be paying to purchase land and purchase a tiny home. We're going to be talking about that next Tuesday, so I hope to see y'all there. Tiny Home Talk Tuesday. All right, everybody have a wonderful night. I got to go up here, and as far as my my injury, I'm going to be letting a video out about that to let you guys know what happened. All right, so until then, that's why I haven't been putting out too many videos, and I've been not moving very well. So everybody have a wonderful night. I appreciate y'all for being here. I hope we got a little something from it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please put it in the comment section below and look, my hand shaking, medication. Put it in the comment section below so we can all help each other answer it, okay? Because it's a lot of people with a lot of housing questions, a lot of land questions, but don't say, hey, can I get some cheap land somewhere? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Because somebody in the other comments might say, hey, I know where you can get some land at. You end up in that man's backyard somewhere, and I ain't talking about in a shed. You might end up in his backyard under the daisies. So be careful, everybody. Hey, Granny Karma, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, y'all. Have a nice night. Thanks for stopping by. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Shaggy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Everybody, next week, be ready to come in with some questions because I'm letting folks in. I'm going to do my best to do what we did last week and let everybody pop off. All right? Leo 573, I love you, and I'm out. Peace.